Arriving in just a few hours. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning unto you as well. More and more activity here on the east front of the Capitol in the last few minutes. More and more police officers coming into the area. Those big black SUVs we're used to seeing. The Pope expected to leave the Vatican embassy around 9 o'clock, make it here about 9:15 this morning, and will address Congress shortly thereafter. We're joined this morning by Virginia Senator Tim Kaine to talk a little bit more about the address that's going to be happening today. Senator Kaine, a lifelong Catholic, I should say, and a former Jesuit missionary, and so you come into this meeting today with the Pope with a very different perspective, and I would imagine you've got to be excited on some level.
Aaron, I'm very excited. My wife and I are both going to be in chambers. I was a Jesuit missionary in Latin America during the 1980s at the same time as the Pope was a priest coming up in some very difficult times, and so being here for this first address, it's a really magical opportunity.
And he's talked so much about the message that he wants Catholics to hear, and he wants all Americans to hear about reaching out to the poor and about being good stewards, and is that what you would anticipate he'll talk about again today?
I think so. He is speaking straight out of the Catholic social teaching tradition. But the other thing he's doing, Aaron, that I think is so good for Congress and leaders everywhere, he's setting an example of humility and leadership. I think we live in an age where, business, political, military, and even church leaders, they kind of like the title, the perks, the salary. They like the elevation over their flock of their constituents. He's really turned that on its head and said, if you want to be a leader, you've got to be the servant. And, of course, that has such biblical backing to it as well. And I think that will be part of his message. You have your leaders, you have a unique opportunity, serve others.
Now, this Pope is not strayed away from some of the sort of hot-button issues that we've heard about as of late. He's talked about economics. He's talked about climate change. He's talked about some other social issues as well.
Especially.
So do you think that he'll address those things today, and what do you think the Congress has to do in terms of receiving that message?
Well, I think he will address them, but he'll address them as values, not, he's not going to be saying pass this bill or that regulation. For example, on the immigration issue, so much Old Testament. I mean, the Exodus story, it's about people wandering and seeking a home, and I'm sure he will talk about the immigration crisis and put it in a values context. And he will challenge us to act. Congress has gotten really good at not acting, at kicking things down the road. Look, we don't have a budget, and the budget expires next week. I think he'll say, you are in a unique country in this world, and you have a unique opportunity. If you act, you can help people, and I'm sure he'll challenge us to do that.
All right, Virginia Senator Tim Kaine, we appreciate your time this morning. Tell your wife I said hello.
I will. Thanks, Aaron.
Good to see you. We mentioned the climate change issue, and there is going to be a rally on the National Mall related to that issue today as well.